Proofread by Sundar Hatangadi, PSAEs Weran. Description comments, Adhyaya numbers 16 to 19 in Ashvamadhika, Mahabharata. Acknowledge permission, Professor Takunaga. Latest update, the 2nd of June, 1998, the 30th of December, 2022. File name, anugiitaa.itx. Location, doc_Gaiata. Category, guitar, guitar. Text title, Anugiitaa. Send corrections to sanskrit@cheerful.com. Please help to maintain respect for volunteer spirit. Are generated using Sanskrit. Please note that proofreading is done using Devanagari version and other language/scripts. This text is prepared by volunteers and is to be used for personal study and research. The file is not to be copied or reposted without permission, for promotion of any website or individuals or for commercial purpose. The 30th of December, 2022. Anugiitaa. Anugiitaa. Document information. Sanskrit documents.org. Machine translated by Google. Keshav and Arjuna. King. Why that's all, male tiger. Why? With him, Partha, having attained his kingdom, enjoyed himself alone in that beautiful assembly. Falgan replied. Only the greatness of Devaki and that. I'm curious about those meanings, sir. From friendship. From friendship. Vaishnapayana. What is the story, O Brahmaya? 1. Why? Then by chance Arjuna, the son of Arjuna, accompanied by Krishna, having reached a certain assembly hall equal to the heavenly abode, appeared and looked at that beautiful assembly, and spoke these words. Vaishnapayana. Why? They are the form of God. He said. By the black. You know, O mighty-armed one, that you are ready for battle. In the Mahabharata, in the Ashvamadhika chapter. He said. They left, surrounded by their relatives. 3. Why? Janamejaya said. Why? Why? But what you have said then, O Kesava. O Madhava, you too will soon go to Dvairaki. 7. Why? Black. I have lost my mind. The effulgent best of speakers embraced him and spoke these words. 8. Why? Combined. Urupameshwaram. 5. Why? Again. While he was sitting in the assembly, he killed the enemies of the great sage. Thus addressed then. Chapter. Anugiitaa. Anugiitaa. 1. Machine translated by Google. Sanskrit documents.org. 2. Very unpleasant. I have described the Supreme Absolute Truth, who is equipped with yoga. Listen to the righteous. You'll go to the top of the movement. By the divine method, O Arjuna, hear that, and consider it. Vajuda Fuvak. Why? Listen carefully. A certain Kasyapa, a Brahmin endowed with austerities and well versed in righteousness, approached a certain Brahmin who had attained the knowledge of the Dharma, the seer of the high and the low. Some of the Dharmas have come and gone. Why? Dharma, the embodiment of all, O Arjuna, and all the eternal worlds. And you're stupid. In Y13. Why? The Brahmin said. As if he had that intelligence. O Madhusidana, O Madhava, I shall now speak to you as I speak. 17. Skilled in the meaning of the world. That righteousness is well enough. I can't do that anymore. It was glowing with the splendor of Brahma and it was ordered everywhere. By the actions of the bodies. He is well versed in the truth of caste and remembrance and is well versed in virtue and sin. Calm and self-controlled. Very unpleasant. I will tell you the history, however, ancient for that purpose. A Brahmin came from the world of heaven, the subduer of enemies, and the world of Brahma, and he was invincible, and he was worshipped by us. That's what I'm doing. I have heard thee and made known to thee the eternal secret. Why? Everything from the best club. Why? Pandavas 10. Yipuritana 1-2 Why? What you would not take without understanding is mine. In the pain of the feet of the Brahman. Why? We asked him what he said, O best of the Bharatas. O Kiya, you are asking me about the religious principles of liberation. Why? You hear that and think about it. Why? The science of knowledge, the science of knowledge. Movement. Why? To say the least. Ye was worshipped one for why? O Lord, that which cuts off delusion. 16:16. Surely you are unbelieving. Ktagate subusho. Anugiitaa. Controlled senses. For the sake of compassion for the beings. The knower of pleasure and pain. The moving is perfect as a free machine translated by Google. 3 anugiitaa.pdf. Talking alone. Satisfied the doctor. Why? Again 29. And hearing the disappearance mover. Desiring to perform religious duties, the ascetic performed great austerities with great devotion and paid homage to the lotus feet of the Lord. 24:24. Again. From his own people on the other side. Again. They are very terrible. In fact, Kashyapa was astonished at the wonderful sight of that foremost of Brahmins. Siddha Yuvaka. I have attained evil destinations and have suffered because of my sinful service. By the only ones. Sinful service. Having obtained that wealth with misery, he has often lived with his dear ones and lived with his unpleasant ones and lost his wealth. And sitting with them, satisfied with him, the teacher, pleased with the disciple, then said, observing the supreme perfection. Why? With. Just as the wind blows unattached to the sky, it moves at random. 23:23. With herd character. And the position. Why? O Janadana, please hear that from me. 27 Why? Similarly, by the disappeared. Then the intelligent and foremost of the Brahmayas approached him. There is no eternal state anywhere. Siddhari Antam. By various actions, O dear. Mortals attain their destination here, even in the world of the gods. He satisfied the physician with great attendance. Parantape y 26. 26. By the opposite of desire and anger. Yellow breasts of various kinds. 3:1 Why? Again saddened. Again and again death and birth again. They ate a variety of foods. Insults and good troubles. Physical and mental pain. He was pleased and approached, and satisfied him with the character of the herd, and with the behavior of his teacher. And by the meritorious yogas. Nowhere is there more happiness than great deviation from one's place. With the wheelbearers. 2:2 Why? O sinless one, I have seen various kinds of mothers and fathers. Experiencing various kinds of happiness and pain. 3:2 Why? Anugiitaa. He was deluded by thirst. 30:30. Why? Machine translated by Google. Chapter. By the grace of the Supreme Personality of Godhead I have attained this perfection. 37:37. Why? Why? Doubt. O wise one, I am very pleased with your character. They arrived in airplanes and were fiercely killed and imprisoned. F. You are Ki-Appa. 4:3. The boon. 1. Chapter 17. Servants. Old age, disease and constant desires are experienced in this world in abundance. People of the nation. In the world of mortals. As long as you have whatever you want in your language, I recognize the purpose for which you have come to me. And I shall soon leave. By which I am enlightened by you. Then, once, in deep distress, I abandoned the system of democracy because I was humiliated by the rejection of the Vedas. Why? He spoke to the righteous. Then he grabbed her feet and asked her harsh questions. I am looking at the worlds. I am looking at the worlds. Let not the footsteps of Brahma be undisturbed for you here. Uvam chachudam for 1. Whatever you desire for 2. I am not going to come back here and be perfect. Parentap. Falling into hell and suffering at the end of Yama 3:5. My path is auspicious. 3:8. I sucked you. Why? O most intelligent one, I am pleased with you. Please tell me what I can do for you. 44:0. O best of the Brahmayas, this is the best achievement available. I'm not coming back here. And I think a lot of your wisdom I worship and worship. Ask the question. This is the Ashwamadhika in the Sri Mahabharata Pavani. Question and word. He asked them to. I shall go beyond this and then again. If you've come to the right place, the time has come for you to do so. Very much. I've had a lot of dualities. 36:36. In the Anugiitaa festival. Anugiitaa. Kashyapa said. Brilliant. Vajuda Fuvik. 4 Sanskrit documents org. Machine translated by Google. Anugiitaa.pdf 5. How else can one attain it? 3. Thus moved, Siddha answered the questions. Why? In order. The intellect turns. How does the body fall apart and how does it appear? Consumes. Why? Of that being for those reasons. Speed determination 1. Why? A man for his own sake. When the actions which bring glory to life in this world are exhausted. In the taking of the body in another, the soul surrounded by decay serves the opposite when it is opposed to its destruction. He eats too late. Why? When a person enjoys all kinds of painful experiences, whether he enjoys them excessively or not, he never enjoys them. 9. Why? Then he decides on the circumstances surrounding him, such as imprisonment. 13. Why? The Brahmin said. Please consider the fact that life is being described as it is. 1. Why? Or how to unite yourself and be freed from the body. O son of Virya, please hear from me how it will be done. 5. Why? Even if he is heavy, he eats equally, and he does not eat too much, nor does he eat too much. 10:10. Why? T in action. Siddha Yuvaka. How can one be freed from suffering and from the world while in the world? How about good and evil? All in all. Why? Serve. Why? Youth are opposed to the selfless. Exercise or excessive intercourse is constantly used for action or for the determination of speed obtained by greed. He did not know the mode of goodness, strength or time, nor did he know the self. Why? He eats food rich in taste or dreams during the day when it is not cooked, and at the right time he himself provokes the evils of others. Why? Where is the action of the body? Why? They are opposed to the selfless. It releases that body. By anger at his own faults he gets a disease that is near death. Near death. Anugiitaa. He ate bad food and uneven food, and he was in conflict with each other. As it falls from the body. Machine translated by Google. SanskritDocuments.org 6. All the souls. Constantly all animals. He is settled in breathing. In pregnancy transition. Angry with the cold. The strong wind blowing through. The body causes tears. 15:15. O best of the Brahmayas, when the living entity is cut to pieces, he gives up his body in pain. Know this to be true. 17:17. Man. In those essences. The living entity who acts in the body is eternal. Then he became conscious. It breaks through the living entities, and you should know that these are the vital organs. 16:16. Why? The broken joints of the chariot were wet. Why strong wind blowing in the body? Releasing the wind with difficulty. When the living entities are separated from Him, the Supreme Personality of Godhead enters their hearts and quickly tears them apart. It follows the body. When the vital organs are overcrawling, the human being experiences the same pain again. 19:19. Mamasu. The animal does not know. There it is. Then in the enclosed. All the souls. Why? The embodied. The embodied. He who is devoid of heat, breathless, destitute of splendor, unconscious and abandoned by Brahman is said to be dead. By the streams by which he knows the objects of the senses, the bearer of the body does not know that the life force is the source of life and food. Mamasu. Why? The heat is very strong and irritates the body. Immediately the soul decomposes, decaying. As in the five beings. Why? He gets the man with pain. Why? Who is in the five beings? Why? Dependence. Bearer of the senses and the body. Somewhere in the vicinity. Somewhere there's. Samudiran. O best of Brahmins, they are seen anxious about birth and death and abandoning their bodies. It goes down. He goes upwards. The heat is inflamed. Whatever is appropriate should be understood to be the essence of whatever is seen in the scriptures. 24:24. Anugiitaa. Why? He leaves his body and appears to be breathless. Kinchan Y25. Why? Knowledge enveloped in darkness. Machine translated by Google. 7 anugiitaa.pdf. That living entity, without any support, is moved by the mother wind. 26:26. They see such things. Why? Even there is no satisfaction in seeing the brighter beauty. Why? Gone. Yapunyakarmanam 36. Why? These movements are all in isolation. Very much. They all chewed again. Thus the perfected with the eye of knowledge see with the divine eye the living entity moving about, being born and entering into the womb. Know all the forms of the stars and that which shines in the world by its own radiance as the orb of the sun for men of pious deeds. Why? Then good and evil. He is low, high and middle in heaven. 37:37. Why? Therefore, it is very rare. Why? By their own actions. The sun's orb. That creature fell down and was marked with his own auspicious things. Karmabhumayariya. Intelligence. Just as a light from a pit disappears here and there in the darkness. Here, too, the sinful man of evil deeds is cooked in hell. Karmic Shaker. From the determination of action 3-5 covered by his own anugiitaa, or by sins. Having done, all embodied beings obtain. And this is the moon. When he comes out he quickly shakes that unconscious body. The animals stay. 3-2 Determination. Why? These are the places. Why? From the determination of action. By the actions of the body. Why? Now please listen to me in detail about the places where the living entities have gone above and where they have resided. By the pious. They attain higher pleasures here. And what this moon is. According to the scriptures I have seen 3 kinds of places for the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Then he took a deep, terrible breath. Hearing that. And there is a specialty there too. Others have done meritorious deeds. But hell by actions. Land where. You should understand. The Brahmayas who are endowed with knowledge or who have properly heard and determined the Supreme Personality of Godhead recognize him by his characteristics 29. They were uttered. Moksha is the self, and therefore it is very much to be protected. 3-4 Again. Within the eyes. Machine translated by Google. Chapter. The more it is born, the more it will be. Why? Karmajamapnoti. Done with a pure mind. In part. I shall now describe the origin of the pregnancy. Of the good and the evil. Similarly, you too should know the production of life in the womb. Why? Similarly, consciousness illuminates bodies. This is the Ashwamadhika in the Sri Mahabharata. But when they reach the field they are digested. Proceed. 3 If it is auspicious or inauspicious. Covered with lust and anger. That seed is the source of all living entities, and by it all living beings live. 6 For as the iron rod is impregnated with the image, so is the image. In the Anugiitaa festival. Yakritam 2 Why? Yajavapravsanam 8 The Brahmin said. And so also shall sin be done by the sinful mind, for the mind is here the soul of action. A man enters the womb and also hear the answer. The field. Of the actions. Done. O Brahmaya, please hear me as I tell you the truth. 39. And there is no destruction of actions here. Shanit Samshta. Chapter 18. To the priest. The field and so on. 1 Punyam. Because of his subtlety and unmanifest nature, he never gets attached. That being sustains all the limbs by the mind. And then vibrates the limbs, that womb is endowed with consciousness. The woman has gone into the womb. Gone. Why? Pregnancy. Just as fire enters a lump of iron heating it enters it heating it. And as a lamp, burning, should illuminate the shelter. It should illuminate. The fruit should give a lot of fruit. As involved in action. Having attained the body of Brahman, therefore that Brahman is eternal. Eternal. Parvani. Immediately settled in the places of life. Anugiitaa. Venus. Know that it comes as the entry of life into the womb. Sanskrit documents.org 8. Machine translated by Google. 9 anugiitaa.pdf. And whatever action he performs, whether good or bad. Yukanpanam 14y. It is distinguished. 220y. The grandfather of all beings. Fake naming of beings. That is the eternal religion. All that is the reason why Brahma created the three worlds. That is the Dharma injected. I shall also describe that in the world beyond this. Why? Of the present. O best of the species, so is it with each other. 13:13. From that arises religion which protects the subjects forever. 17. Making the body his own. And compassion. Why? Restraint and non-violence, and avoidance of the taste of others. Haisha. Thus it has been done in the past. Pre-dead. Why? Dharman. Worship, hatred, purity, constant restraint of the senses. Among them. And who had previously conceived of his taking on the body. Why? I shall now describe the religious principles by which one becomes happy. Anugiitaa. Restraint and calmness of beings. Thus one should always observe the religious principles in which the devotees are situated. 18:18y. Every being serves action and has come here humiliated. Why? Teacher. As it is. The whole of the movable and immovable. Why? And that is called the circle of the auspicious and the virtuous. It will be a great time for him. Then it is destroyed and another is digested. Again until that Dharma in the yoga of liberation is not realized. Doubts. Periodic. Therefore the world is regulated, but he who is deluded and yogi and liberated is free from these. Charity, vows, celibacy, observance of vows as stated. The pole position. To save the world. The earth is like this. 15. Vashubham. In the paths of religion. Why? Service to parents and worship of gods and guests. Yudagatam Epnuit 19y. Enforcement. Of the man. Everything is necessarily consumed. He who approaches him will not attain misfortune. And so on. Why? Machine translated by Google. Chapter. He who always sees in the perfect eternity. The body is also a cluster of impurities. Knowledge is the best. Why? Then that consciousness created the principle of the embodied. Pre-existing. He is the principal knower of birth and death and diseases. The principal knower. Why? Absorbed in silence, thinking a little. Thinking a little. Parvani. He created all beings. Both movable and immovable. Here that is said to be the imperishable, the supreme, the immortal, the imperishable. Thou, the immortal, the imperishable. F28y. Then the whole next step is detached. The step. Chapter 21. In pleasure and pain. Separately. Any intelligent person in this world can understand everything I shall explain to you. 2929. The ocean of the world. East. All friendly, equally attached and self-controlled. Destruction is the code of action. The Creator. Remembering that whatever is pleasant is all pain. Remembering. Consciousness. Ityesha. In the beings. They know that she is the Supreme Being who pervades the world. 25y. He will cross the terrible, very difficult crossing. Epidemiology. The seen soul in the previous life. A pair of three, all of one. The grandfather did not measure his time. The scripture. O best of the sages, I shall now explain the instructions given to him in detail. 33y. Looking for. In the Anugiitaa festival. He sees equally in all beings. 32y. Why? The Brahmin said. He who is in the body having previously abandoned it becomes without beginning. Then, O Brahmaya, hear this in full as I declare the best knowledge of the eternal and inexhaustible Padma. And the reversal is the repetition. Which is all this? Why? Anugiitaa. This is the Ashwamadhika in the Sri Mahabharata. Why withal? Consciousness. Why? Sanskrit documents.org 10. Machine translated by Google. Anugiitaa.pdf 11. He who is desireless is liberated, neither the righteous nor the unrighteous. He who kills the past accumulated is liberated, and he who is free from duality is liberated. Agandarazamaspashamashabdamaparigraham. Leaving all resolutions in the intellect. And who? Man. 2y. He does not desire anyone, nor does he despise anything. He who sees is set free. Beyond this I shall describe the excellent scripture of yoga. The excellent scripture of yoga. He sees himself in himself. 15:15. Slowly he attains nirvana. Why? The calm soul of metal decay. Nirindanivanal, y12y. The divine infinite. The divine infinite. Constantly ignoring the faults of suffering, he soon attains liberation from the bondage of the self. 99y. Kamaha is freed. Who somewhere. Somewhere. No smell, no touch, no sound, no marriage. By which doors he always feeds. Knowing this, yogis see themselves as perfect in this world. 14y. And abandoned religion, wealth and desire. Life and death are both pleasure and pain, and so on. Seeing the formless and unknowable, he is liberated. Devoid of the five qualities of beings, the idol is the ointment of intoxication. He is free from duality and devoid of attachment everywhere. Why? Shachi. Devoid of the qualities of beings, the idol is the ointment of intoxication. I hate dear in gain and loss, and he who is equal is liberated. Behold the eternal world without action and without desire. Behold the eternal world. He is already free. 3y. He is already free. 5y. Why? The non-quality is the enjoyer of the quality. The liberated attains the supreme, peaceful and unchanging. Physical and mental. Physical and mental. Why? I see his instructions as they are, and please listen to me. Then by all the rituals. Vairagya buddhi. He is without friends and without relatives and without children. And fear and anger dispelled. Unhealthy, constantly under the control of birth, deluded by the world. Anugiitaa. Brahman is eternal. Eternal. Why? He who walks in all beings as in himself. Steadfast, unselfish, fearless on all sides. Machine translated by Google. SanskritDocuments.org 12. Just as a yogi takes out anugiitaa from a bead and shows it to him, so the yogi sees himself in his own body. 21:21. The bodies of each other are represented as desired. Youth body is eternal 25y. Show. But one should withdraw the senses and fix the mind on the self. For as a man is engaged in himself as in such a form, he attains the divinity of the gods and the inexhaustible Brahman, having abandoned the eternal body. Why? He sees it. 22:0y. A Brahmaya who practices austerities has abandoned all material desires and is devoid of pride and egoism. A wise Brahmaya sees himself in the self. 17. Then he takes it away. He is not tormented by anything when beings are tormented. Who is the Lord? 23:23. The saint is to speak of himself in himself. Why? He is not pierced by weapons and there is no death for him. They say that his body is a munja, and that the arrows are situated in him. Then he who is of a solitary nature sees himself in himself. 18:18y. When one ceases from old age and death, one neither rejoices nor laments. 24:24. That which sees the self in the self. When he sees it in his dream, he sees it. For when the right self, having first performed intense austerities, one should then commence to practice yoga. The righteous makes the submissive. He who is self-controlled and has conquered his senses sees. 19:19. Anyone who bears the body sees perfectly, even the three worlds. Why? Restrained and constantly engaged. This is the supreme demonstration declared by the learned in yoga. The steadfast soul should not be disturbed by the terrible things of sorrow and grief. That's when he doesn't even crave for yatagriha himself. 29:29. Nothing more pleasant. Even when he is destroyed, he is not afraid of the worlds. Upanishad 2:6y. He is free from desire for the sources of attachment and affection and is peaceful in mind. 2:7y. Thus he is well connected with himself. If he can, he's over. Bodhibera. Anugiitaa. Saying it right. What is there anywhere in the world? 28y. Why? Machine translated by Google. anugiitaa.pdf 13. Inside the city. Yajudurvacham 36y. Where does the air breathe in, or when it exhales, does it remain within the body? 39:39. The whole body is concentrated within. But detachment is not to be attained by practicing yoga, but by being alone. That mind should be fixed on the outside and inside of that dwelling place. 32y. And meat and fat. Why? O my Dava, when that Brahmaya inquired of me in this way. If the living being carries the body, what color and what kind of movement does the vehicle insert? In a quiet, deserted forest. Listen to that. 30:30. How does it become juicy and how does it become blood? And how strength increases. Strength. Vimana. Madhusudan. As it should be used. One should also meditate on the heart and also on the bond of the heart. Of the growing. Why? Mana. Why? His mind is not external to him. 31y. He asked again. Why? The mind of the living entity is situated in the body in which he is situated. And his mind is never external to him. 3.3. When I said this to the intelligent disciple who had eaten the Dharma of liberation in a very difficult manner, how could this food be digested in the stomach? Somehow. Paid. Stay in this dwelling. Dwell. It also nourishes the muscles and bones. 37. Think of the direction in which you should live in the city you have seen before. Parachinteit. Regulating the sense grammar. The discharge of the dull and the dirt separately. Why? The body. All bodies are embodied. Embodied. And which country he occupied? You should tell me the truth, sir. O might-yomed subduer of enemies, I replied as I had heard. How are these? The teeth, palate, tongue, throat and neck are also affected. Inside the city. Why? Anugiitaa. The body. They are growing. Why? Machine translated by Google. SanskritDocuments.org 14. The Brahmin went as he pleased without any doubt. Partha heard with concentrated mind. Why? Vajuda Fuvik. It is like throwing a cell into one's own cell and becoming a vessel mind. All around the eyes, head and face. My opinion. No one else deserves to hear this. With a confused inner self. Why? The living entity, having given up his material body, assumes the transcendental form of the Supreme Absolute Truth and thus smiles in his mind. 4.6. Why? He attains to that Brahman which, having seen it, he becomes the knower of the principle. He becomes the knower of the principle. Has this, O Arjuna, been heard by any other mortal among the gods, as it is said by the learned and the unconscious, by the confusion? Directive. Turn. He disappeared right there. Why? I then addressed that great ascetic, my disciple, Okiya. This is the mystery of the gods. Of the gods above the mortals. Knowledgeable not today. Yours comfortably 4.7. Why? Thus constantly raised. Why? Somehow. Only. Having thus spoken, he then addressed me, O Arjuna, the foremost of the Brahmins, having taken refuge in the Dharma of liberation, I trust that thou hast heard this very thing, for even then thou wast in the chariot. Thus, by throwing the mind into one's own body, one should seek oneself there through the unmoving doors, and one should avoid negligence, as if soon as a satisfied soul were satisfied. This 50. Why? Why? The Supreme Soul cannot be perceived by the eyes nor by all the senses, nor can the Supreme Soul be seen by the lamp of the mind. 4.4. Why? They are what I have told you, O best of the Brahmayas. Why? Knowledgeable. Upanishad 5.2. Why? Included. Why? Why? Man is without you, O sinless one. For by those who are active, O count ya, the world of the gods. By the name of a man who has not done it. I ask you this whole mystery, I will accomplish it. Go, disciple, as you please. The living entity perceives the Supreme Personality of Godhead as having emerged from the body, with his hands, feet, eyes, head and mouth on all sides. 4.5. Why? Why? Anugiitaa. Yubhavya 5.4. Why? And this is not desired. O best of the Bharatas. You avoid 4.2. Why? Machine translated by Google. Anugiitaa. Please send corrections to sanskrit@cheerful.com. Proofread by Sundar Hattangadi, PSAEs Waran. Mahabharata Ashvamedha Parva. PDF was typeset on the 30th of December, 2022. anugiitaa.pdf 15. Why? Yoga, O Arjuna, is practiced. 60. Why? A mortal who abandons the democracy as the essence. The democracy as the essence. For that is the supreme goal, O Arjuna, that which is the eternal Brahman. O son of Partha, the Kshatriyas are highly learned, and are always devoted to the world of Brahman. 5-7. Why? Completed. Svadharmaratio. Thus women and prostitutes have adopted righteousness. That is all that needs to be said, and there is nothing more for one who is constantly engaged in 6 months. Parvani. Something. Why? The fruits of perfection are liberation and the determination of pain. What could be happier than this, O best of the Bharatas? 5-8. Why? He heard and believed. They are also Shudras. This is the Ashwamadhika in the Sri Mahabharata. Why? He will soon attain the highest state, where he attains immortality, having abandoned suffering and is always happy. Why? This is the anugiitaa. What about the Brahmins? By these means, they will be of sinful birth. This is the reason and the means mentioned above. O Pandavas, he was defeated in the anugiitaa festival. Chapter 21. Why? Tools. They attain the supreme destination. Yugatameva Pnuit 5-9. Why? Anugiitaa. Yep, 2. Machine translated by Google.